So like in performance study number 4, we start off by rocking back and forth, this time between the 1 chord and the 5 chord. So we've got basically 2 beats of A, 2 beats of E, the 1 and the 5 in the key of A, which is the key that we're in. So we start off So we've got all these different chord voicings bouncing around. We start off with an A7, and we have a slide in. We're grabbing the 7th, the flat 7 here on the open 3rd string, and then the major 3rd of the chord, and the 5th on top. But we're doing a slide in right on the first pinch, on the first downbeat, where you've got the thumb and the index and the middle finger, but your left hand, you're at the flat 3rd, and you're going to pinch and kind of crush into the major 3rd quickly like this. So you hear that. It's not, right? It's not a slow slide. It's the slide as it's coloring the sound of this basic chord. So, and then we're over to an E7 augmented or an E7 flat 13. Here's your 3rd. Here's your either augmented 5th or flat 13. Take your pick. And the 5th, the root on top. And then we jump up to an A13, or an A6, since we don't have a 7th in here at the moment. Here's the 3rd, the 6th, and the root. And then over to an E7 sharp 9. We're only grabbing 2 of the notes out of the whole voicing with the, up here with the, we got the bass, obviously that's 1 note, but then we've also just got the flat 7 and the sharp 9. And just like in performance study 4, we're taking advantage of the open high string here as part of the melody. So the melody is going like that, but we're supporting it with all these different voicings. And then coming back to that opening phrase, but this time ending it with this blues phrase. So we're playing an A blues phrase, kind of a bright majory kind of blues phrase, but we're doing a pull off here. Now just like we had this quick slide into the major 3rd, here we've got a quick pull off from the flat 3rd to the 2nd. So it's the sound really of, but colored by this pull off. And actually it's happening over the E bass. Now we have a walk-up with a really characteristic New Orleans kind of syncopation to it. So if you counted that out, it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So all these bass notes are hitting on the offbeats, which is what gives it its lilt. And that takes us up to the second part of the tune, which starts with the D chord. And now we're going to have a bar of D, a bar of E, 2 bars of A, and then repeat, bar of D, bar of E, 1 bar of A, and then an E chord to bring us back around to the top of the tune. So we're repeating this 4-5-1 part twice. The first time, we're using these voicings. We've got a D7 here with the root, 3rd, flat 7, and root. Going up into part of this chord, a basic bar D7 chord with the roots and the 5th, and here's the 3rd, and here's the 5th on top. So we want the bass to still have this rocking feel, so we're going to play the root twice, and then the 5th of the chord twice. So the D and an A. And meanwhile, everything's happening on top. So you always want to follow the melody, what's going on there. We've got that over the bass. And then we're filling it in with these inner voices of the chords. So here, we're adding in these notes with the index and the middle finger. And then when we get to this part, we're going to fill in by using sixths. So we've got the 5th fret on the 2nd string. We're going to add in the 5th fret on the 4th string and slide up and hold that down while we add in the melody on top. So, and that's all happening over the bass. And then in anticipation of the E7, so out of here, on the and of 4, you've got to get your fingers onto the E chord, same voicing as we used for D7. So here's the root, flat 7 and 3rd of E, and then the thumb comes in with the bass. And again, to rock the bass here, we're going to have the bass 2 beats here on this E, and then 2 beats on the low E, taking advantage of the open 6th string. So, and now the melody is going in 6ths up on the 1st and the 3rd string. And that's happening over the low bass. And again, also keep track of the syncopations when you're playing the melody or the melody with supporting chords on the offbeats, not with the thumb, and when you're pinching. So pinching here, not on the beat, but now off the beat. And then a turnaround lick. And so the thumb is coming up to the 4th string here. And this is like a kind of twisted revision of the standard kind of Delta blues turnaround. We've got, so these 2 notes, 5th fret and 5th fret on the 2nd and 4th string, and then to here, 3rd fret and 4th fret, it's basically framing a D chord, and then half stepping into an A chord again, but also keeping this various notes on top. First, the high root of the A chord, and then open high string, sliding in, and now walking up again. And so we've got this syncopated walk up. And this time, we've got a different move from D to E. And so we're starting off with the same chord voicing with a pinch, but the chord slides back a half step and then slides up. So here's our bass again doing the rocking thing, and the melody's going, which means the chords are going. And so the bass is going, is contrasting with that. We've got, well, here it's going along with the chord, but now we've got the bass like that. And so there's a moment when you've got this chromatic chord connecting up the D and the E, and the bass is on a low A, and so you hear this. So if you're playing along slowly, it's going to have this moment of like, what's that? But in context, when you have this moving along, the logic of the chromatic slide up is strong, and the logic of the bass rocking like this is strong. So together, everything sounds basically fine. And then when we've landed here, actually, we're going to use the low E here, and then do this blues lick with a double stop. So we've got kind of a major E blues thing going on here, 5th, 6th, and root of A, and then flat 3 to 2 to 1. But along with the flat 3 to 2 to 1, along with that, we're going to grab the high string as a double stop right when you hit the C natural, the flat 3. And then we've got another kind of bent kind of turnaround. So we've got the bass going down and then climbing back up. but on top. Or actually, so the bass is keeping things straight this time. The bass is not syncopated, but on top we have syncopation. So you've got these notes leading the way on the offbeats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so assembled, you end up with this. And so you've got, this is basically, the melody and the bass are harmonized, they're in tenths. But then we're just keeping a common tone on top, the E. And that brings you around to the beginning of the tune again.